The face of Buhari, some call him Jubril al-Sudani, and the hands of Abba Kyari, the chief of staff, who people said is the president of Nigeria, while Jubril al-Sudani is an impostor because the original Buhari is dead. This is according to the leader of IPOB, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. The question of who actually runs the complex machinery of the Federal Republic of Nigeria or the federal government of Nigeria. And now, this is a contraption that has expired 2014. A lot of people have long, been confused about this. And this has been on the lips of not a few citizens in various walks of life. Who is actually running the federal government of Nigeria? Even from the most casual scanning of the present administration of Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired, the president of Nigeria, aka Jubril al-Sudani, there is a deluge of glaring evidence which graphically betrays and actually points to a few points. It actually points to a few issues that needs to be looked into. And these things are definitely out of place, thereby presenting the Aso Rock powerhouse as the modern day Tower of Babel, where confusion, different tongues, different ideas, different topics, different issues reigns. One of the glaring instances remains a recent memorandum from the National Security Advisor, NSA, Major General Babagana Monguno retired. This memorandum, they claim, was leaked. And this was directed to the service chiefs, which indicated the chief of staff, COS, to the president, Abba Kyari. According to the document that got leaked out, according to this document, Abba Kyari is allegedly compromising the country's security architecture through several unauthorized and unlawful activities. Some of them are bordering on interference in matters relating to, how to a lot of issues as regards how he calls the ambassadors for a meeting, how he sits to discuss with the security chiefs, and how he comes up with certain directives that the president has not given himself, and how he overturns certain directives that the president has given. And now, according to the Constitution, the chief of staff simply listens to the president and delivers the opinion of the president or the directive of the president to the rest of the staff. And now there are certain staffs that are not underneath the chief of staff. For example, the vice president is supposed to work hand in hand with the president and not through Abba Kyari. But all of a sudden, the vice president, a professor, a pastor, has become someone that we can say disabled, deaf, dumb. That is what he has become. Is he keeping quiet because he has to listen to the party, the CEO of the party, APC, and that is no other person than the founder of the same party, and they call him the Jagaban, Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Is it a political game, or what is this all about? Or he feels that if I do this, maybe Nigerians will see me as a better person, and I might want to go for elections once again, or I just want to keep my life better, or he sees Buhari as a better friend rather than what is happening in the country at the moment, or he feels that he doesn't need to go against the party or the government that he himself is part of. I have not seen anybody in Nigeria, past administration, where someone in government goes against each other unless the president and the vice president are having issues. And that is the case of Atiku and Obasanjo. I've not seen it. They don't speak truth to power. Now, according to this document, Abba Kyari is seen compromising the security of the nation and doing a lot of unlawful activities. His sins include presiding over meetings with service chiefs, even without authorization from Mr. President. If anything, the memorandum may have erased whatever doubts that have been lingering over the doubts that have been lingering over the maladministration and that has prevailed in the C0ULD presidential villa. In an unprecedented development, the administration of the country's security architecture has attracted the public reproach of the NSA, who has also sent a memorandum to service chiefs cautioning them to be wary of unapproved instructions from Abba Kyari. In the words of the NSA, the COS is not a presiding head of security, neither is he sworn to an oath of defending the country. Hence, unprofessional practices by the COS, such as presiding over meetings with service chiefs and heads of security organizations, as well as ambassadors and high commissioners, to the exclusion of the NSA and or supervising ministers, are a total violation of the Constitution. And he said this directly undermines the authority of Mr. President. Continuing, the NSA lamented that such acts and continuous meddlesomeness by the Chief of Staff have not only ruptured our security and defense efforts, but have slowed down any meaningful gain that Mr. President has sought to achieve. Now, did the President see any of this leaked memorandum? Was it copied to the President himself? What has he done if he is alive and if he has realized that things are not going in the right direction? What has the President done? That is the point here. Now, understandably, whatever has provoked the NSA to launch this broadside at the COS goes beyond the generic import of that particular memorandum under consideration. There must have been other issues that tipped the balance of discretion for the NSA, especially when, beyond him, other persons have also raised concerns over the meddlesomeness of the COS in the initiatives and decisions of the President. People have mentioned that and pointed also to him meddling with the Vice President. Now, reading the memorandum along with the earlier contributions by a lot of Nigerians, including that of the minority leader of the Senate, Enyinnaya Abaribe, it is becoming established that President Buhari may have, in breach of the Constitution and unlawfully, therefore ended up somehow to concede leadership of the country to his Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari. In the appraisal of what could have triggered the intervention of the NSA, this can be fingered at least in two factors. First, could be the NSA patriotic inclination to act in the national interest by drawing a line in the sand whereby the COS, Abba Kyari, can be restricted from further interference and associated compromise of the country's security architecture, among other issues, of course. At least the memorandum hinted at such. In another context, the correspondence may have accentuated the no-love-lost relationship between the NSA and COS and has mysteriously percolated same into the public domain to cause the stir associated with it right now at the moment. Probably I don't like you no more. I don't like what you represent. So I think I'm going to use this against you, even though they've kept quiet about this for a long time. In that context, this argument may be established on these two, and maybe there are others, we don't know, but then it could be, like I said, subjective or objective. It could be personal, or it could be at the interest of the nation generally. For many Nigerians, the situation of the ceremony in the presidency is not new. Just as the serial instances of infighting among Buhari aides offers no comfort, rather disturbing is that the situation is spawned by the oracular stance of Buhari himself, and this has generated a scramble among his aides to secure direct access to him. This scenario translated into a rat race in which the COS, as a wily and opportunistic politician, exploited his closeness to the president or the clone or the impostor, and and he has used this as an opportunity to browbeat everyone to the price of enjoying the most exclusive access to the president's hair. Whatever he tells the president, and that is what it is. In fact, the wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, also lamented. And now, from the look of things, any person aspiring to pry Abba Kyari out of his privileged position of serving Buhari this way, or being the president while the supposed president is just there retired, relaxing, I don't know what's going to become of that person. So when you look at all of this together, all of this combined together, in the final analysis. Even if Mongono's intervention does not yield the unlikely dividends of trimming the excesses of Abakari, the COS, to the president, he has nevertheless acted well in his own part. Now, the onus for a new dispensation ultimately rests on the president, Muhammadu Buhari, to yield to pressure, to yield to public pressure and demystify, if not possible, remove the chief of staff. That's just what it is. Or restructure the government as it is. But how is this going to be possible if at the end of the day, they said the president is dead and is not alive, and that the president is suffering from some dementia and some other issues? So with all of this inclusive, either he's dead, a clone, impostor, or the real Buhari, whatever it is, when you look at all of these things happening in government, coupled with the issues of security and all of that, you will realize that Buhari is not really proactive and is not active at all. Yes, a lot of people might throw stones at him, but when people are acting in line with the direction, the mandate that they claimed that they were going to uphold, and they upheld it, you will barely see the real true citizens of that country complaining, apart from some distractors and some fifth columnists. That is what it is for now. If you're not a member of this channel, we can grow it together by you tapping on the subscription button and the red notification icon bell below. It will alert you whenever videos are uploaded. And if you are already a member of this channel, I say a very big thank you for the support.